Where do your thoughts come from? That's the question that I asked this morning for my clients who are part of the Time to Thrive membership. And if they're automatic, they actually have a name, ants, automatic negative thoughts. Yeah. Now, we are the only life form we know that can choose what thoughts we want to experience. And we actually want to choose to form thoughts based on our future impact, the identity that we're developing into. But until you've taken care of some healing, you can't get to that growth, those goals, and that vision. And self-sabotage is not automatic. In fact, it's a learned behavior. So where does self-sabotage and its corresponding thoughts, emotions, and actions come from? Well, that's what your healing is all about. And you had a need at some point in your life. I'm going to go over the core four in just a moment. You had a need that was going unmet. Not your fault. You were actually looking to those in authority around you to get this need met, but it wasn't happening. Instead, you needed to abandon, reject, find your need unworthy, and then validate someone else and take on their needs. And then that built up a tremendous amount of angst and sadness and grief and situational depression. So you needed something to soothe yourself, but only short term. It got you results, but it didn't get you resolution of the original need being met. And that's when the self-sabotage shows up. That's when you do the twos. It's too much eating, too much gummies, too much procrastination, too much social media, too much putting things off until the time is going to be just right, which is different than procrastination. Procrastination, you enjoy the hit of energy you get because you're backed up against a corner. Putting things off until they're just right is a form of perfectionism. And so you developed these habits, and that's when you come to someone like me in the mentoring, guide, coaching, hypnosis industry, and you're like, I've got this bad habit. Yeah, well, that bad habit is a symptom that there was something that you were not getting. And so you decided to give it to yourself, but in a way that was less than optimal because it never addressed that original need. So what are the original needs? This is when we look at the core four. There is certainty, there is variety, there is worthiness, and there's validation. So certainty comes from relying on other people to give you a transfer of authority and a transfer of power to where they teach you how to rely on yourself. Yeah, it didn't happen, did it? No. In fact, you were probably taught to abandon yourself and make sure that they had certainty. That's the wound that's at this level. See, certainty shows up as either safety, you have to be dependent upon other people, places, and things to be okay, or security. If it is to be, it is up to me. Not security of if it is to be, it is up to me. I'll never ask anyone to assist me. I will be hyper independent. No, that shows that there was a wound that you couldn't trust other people. And your healing is a social experience. Other people were involved in the original wound, so other people need to be involved in the upgrade. There's healing, and then after that, there's growth. Then you can focus on the best parts of you, your magnificence and brilliance, in order to move forward. And then after that, there's goals. It's really hard to set a goal that is going to be customized for you and what's phenomenal about you if you don't know what your brilliance is. If you lose something and it's significant, you go find it. If you're in the dark, you turn on the light to be able to find it. You don't continue fumbling around in the dark. And yet that's what we can wind up doing when we're trying to do it by ourselves, is we're fumbling around in the dark looking for what it is, not that we lost, but that a person or a situation took away from us. It took away our ability to have certainty. Well, after certainty, then comes variety, because when there's too much certainty, your powerful mind gets bored. And emotions are the electricity that turn on our habits and our patterns and reinforce our identity. So we will seek out variety in emotions. But if you haven't taken care of the certainty to where you know what you can count on, then you're going to seek out variety through crisis, chaos, confusion, and drama. Might be yours, might be someone else's, but that's what you're going to get consistent hits of. I don't know about you, but I so value my peace and my tranquility. This is the reasons why my clients really enjoy their hypnosis sessions, because it gives them such a sense of stability and tranquility. And when things are quiet, you can see through to what's on the other side. One of the hypnosis prescriptions I use is a story about being with my friends at camp, and we're around the swimming hole area, and we're all in splashing, having a good time. And that's when one of my girlfriends lost a necklace, and it was so significant to her because it was given to her by the one person in her life that she felt that she could count on. And so we're all in trying to help her find it. Man, we're just getting everything all stirred up. So I had the idea, everybody get out. Let's just kick back and enjoy some soothing vibes of being out in the sun. And as we did, the water in that area of the swimming hole began to settle down. And it wasn't long before we could see the sun go through the water and catch the glint of her necklace that was partially buried in the silt that was at the bottom. But we had to wait for things to calm down. That is freedom. Freedom is when you can calm that internal storm and have stability, and then have a freedom of choice of how to move forward. And if it is a yes or no decision, that's not freedom of choice. A freedom of choice is between two yeses. I can do this to bring out my brilliance, or I can do this. Which one is more appealing, more motivating, more calling to me? And by the way, the wound at this level is what's known as rejection. This is where something healthy can come into your life, but because your system is so used to being disordered, dysregulated, dysfunctional, and at times toxic, you'll reject it because it doesn't fit in with what you've been programmed to experience. So you need freedom, but in order to have that freedom, you need to have the ability, no matter what's going on around you, to be able to take a moment and stabilize yourself, put things back into order, regulate your system. And then from there, you move up into worthiness. Again, everything has a pain side and it has a progress side. Now, worthiness can show up by you having to martyr yourself, giving yourself away for other people to be okay. Or It can be having to constantly save those around you. What you really want to experience is significance. Significance, this is the level where we look at setting goals, getting support, bringing others in to assist you. And so significance says you bring your brilliance and they bring their brilliance, and together you can create something outstanding that you could not on your own. Now, these first three levels are what you normally go through between the ages of 8 and 13 as your personality is developing authority and power. But if you continue to experience that authority and power over on the left-hand side of the pyramid of power, that's what we're going up on the core four, which is never-ending need. Those needs never got met. Then you are, well, prime pickings for this next level. This next level is the level of validation. And, well, this is when you were taught getting a little too big for your britches, aren't you? Who do you think you are? Yeah, you need to be connecting in to us, whoever that us represents, and whom we need you to be. And so at the level of validation, what you really wanted was love, but you were taught that love wasn't given freely, that you had to earn it by being connected to being a hot mess. It's what's known as the tall poppy syndrome. Tall poppies and poppy fields. Farmers only let those poppies get so tall because if they grow too tall, then they risk snapping off and they lose their drug harvest. Yeah. So if a poppy looks like it's going to get too tall, the farmer comes along and it cuts it off, because once one starts growing taller, the others around it will match it. Fascinating how nature works. Well, you started growing a little tall and maybe started taking ownership and authority in your life, and somebody came along and they cut you down. And because you were taught to seek people, places, and things outside of you in order to be okay, well, that's when you learned to hold yourself back, because it's better to settle for connection than to go without love. Well, that's what happened to the younger you. You were found not to be good enough. That's a level of worthiness, and you were invalidated. Well, and then rejected and abandoned. It's time to step into your healing. It is time to move forward into growth, turning on your brilliance. And from there, setting those goals. Oh, yeah. And then the vision that is going to absolutely light up your life. If you'd like assistance with this, whether it's working with me personally or it's the Time to Thrive membership, go to dawnlandrum.com and you will see when you work with me personally, you get the bonus of the Time to Thrive membership that actually has the exercise that goes along with all of this of how to move into those goals and that vision based on your brilliance. Working with me personally is when we take care of that healing that gives you the foundation to move forward. So I'd love if I could assist you. Until we get together again, where do your thoughts come from? You are now choosing to form them from the future you and all the absolute brilliance that future holds for you.